and then border radius. I'm going to say 5 pixel, then save. And okay, I think the radius is too much from the design, so let me reduce that. Let's reduce that to about 3 pixels. Okay, let's go with this. So going back to the design again, so the space that we have here is not as much as what we have in here. So let's quickly fix that. Let's reduce our space a little bit. So margin left, I'm going to say 4 rem. Okay, I think it's okay like this. So now let's come back to this guy. Let's quickly fix this and have the background image. So we've written enjoy your dream vacation and this. So let's quickly select that. So this is a div and we've given the div a class name. So our div has a class name of hero. That's the hero section. Let's come to our CSS and quickly select that dot hero. And what we want to do is we want to give it the same width as the navbar, so that, and also place it at the middle. Want to give it the same width as the navbar and place it at the middle, just like the navbar is placed at the middle. So we give it the width. First of all, let's check for the width of the navbar, which is 95%. So we say width 95%. Then we say margin 0 and auto. So you can see it's placed in the middle, though there are still stuff we need to work on. So the next thing we want to do, let's go back to the design. Okay, so to place it in the center, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try a few things. First of all, I'm going to give it a height rather. I'm going to give it height. So say height. I'm going to say about, let's say 80 VH. If it's too much, we're going to change it. So to check if our height is working properly, let's say background color. Let me say red for now. Okay, this is not bad. The next thing, let's look at the design and see. Okay, that's not bad. The next thing we want to do is to include the roundness. If you look at what we have here, the edges are not sharp, the edges are round. So let's quickly include that roundness by doing our border radius. And so we use 4 pixels in the other one, which is this login, 3 pixels. So also going to use 3 pixels here. We just want to have the kind of, want to sync all of the designs, want to make them match. Want to have a matching pattern for the design. So I'm going to save this and come back to here. I think this is okay for now. Now let's look. We want to have our image, which is going to be the background image. So we can do this by using HTML or by using CSS. But in this case, let's use CSS to achieve this. So I have to go to a website that to get my image. I can either go to Pinterest or going to use Unsplash for this. Then let me come back to the design. Okay, this is like a house in a beach or a pool side. So let's say house in a pool side. Let's hope we can find something. Okay, okay. So I have to look for a house that is dark a little bit so that my text will stand out. Although there are ways I could fix that, but maybe in the next video. Mm, so I think I like this one. What I want to do is I can either download this image and work with it, or what I can do is to right click and copy image link. Then going back to my to my CSS file where I have this background color, it will no longer be background color. Rather, I'll say background image URL. That's the keyword. Then I will paste this in it and save. So this is the background image. We have it here. Now we can see that our text is kind of hiding. We're going to fix that in a while, but let's handle this our background image. After you must have added your background image, there are other stuff we want to work with, which is background position. I'm going to place it at center. So you can see that our image is now let's hide this first of all. Look at the image is kind of falling down. The house is hidden, the trees are hidden. We're just seeing the sky. But when we say this, it's going to look for the center of the image and place the image at the center. Other part will be lost, obviously, but at least we have the most important things being displayed on our screen. So the next thing we want to do is background size. Although we are okay with that size, but in should the case we're not, let's say contain. So this is our background size. It contains, right? But you can see that our background is repeating. So we have image 1, image 2, and image 3. So let's fix that by saying background repeat. Background repeat. And say no repeat. So now we now have a problem. The image is not spanning across the screen. It's just positioned at the center and the left and the right axis. This part and this other part is not having the image. That is where we are going to remove this background size from contain to cover. So it should cover the screen. Beautiful. So we have these already. Let's see, we are okay with this for now. Maybe in the next video or during the class, we are going to make our text pop out more. And yeah, so we want to position this text because when you come to the design, the text is kind of at this point, not like this. The text is not properly placed right now. So let's fix that. So there are so many ways to fix that. I can use padding, margin, and all that, but I'm going to use background and display flex to do that. Display flex. When I go back, you can see how they are being displayed, but that's not how I want it. I'm going to say display flex position or flex direction rather. Then I'll say column. Okay, that's okay. Then I'll say justify content center. Okay, then I think it's okay for now. The next thing we want to do is we want to select the H1 tag and give it a width, because from the design we have enjoyer in one line and dream vacation in another line. So the width will help us fix that. We give it width and size and other properties. So dot hero h1 dot hero h1. So what do I want to do now? I want to give it a width first of all. Let's try 10%. So 10% is too small. Let's make it 20%. That's too big. Let's give it 15%. Okay, we can do 20% and increase the font size. Say font size. So by default it is 32 pixel. Let me say 40 pixels now. And then increase the size again to about 25%. Okay, that's still, I think our font is still too small. Let's increase the font a little bit to about 45 pixels. Okay, so we have what we're looking for. Uh, let's also do that for our p tag. So the p, which is this, dot h dot hero p, and say width. Let's see our design. Let's give it a width of 25% as well. So the text is too much. First of all, let me increase this to like about 27%. Then let's reduce the text. Reduce again. Okay, I think this one is okay for now. Now let's move it to this point a little bit. It's kind of too close to the edge. And how we do that, we can say margin left for this. Let's try margin left and say 5 rem, for example. So you can see it's positioned at that point. We can also say padding left will also do that. It's also moved to that position. Another thing we can try is by taking this, and I guess this should give us a problem. Taking this to the nav, to the hero itself, and save. This should give us a problem. So we have a problem here. We don't want this hero to cover the entire screen. We want it to take what and the width that the nav is already taking. So that's the problem that we're going to have. So I'm going to take it back to this point but I'll call it margin instead of padding. So why I'm doing that, if we call it padding now, and let's say we have a background color for this and say white, so you're going to see something like this. That's not what we want to do. Or something else we could do is by we could come here and say text align center. Okay, so that won't work at all. That will not work at all. Text align center will not work. So let's just go with our margin left. Margin left here. Let's copy this and also include it over here. So this is this. The next one we want to do is our start button, that button that we have there. We also have to select it, and that's this anchor tag. So we try to put the anchor tag in a div because we want to have this button like this, like an icon from the design. It is an icon. So it is an icon. We want to have the icon and have this. Okay, so let's quickly fix that. Adding icons in our website. We're going to be using Google Font for that. Oh, we're going to be using Google Font for that. Let me Google Font. And then this is Google Font. I'm going to select icons, which is this. So what kind of what kind of icon do I want to use here? Let's see, let me search for start icon and see. So I just search for the icon. So which one should I take? I think I should just pick any icon at all. So scroll down and look for icons. So let me go with this icon. Select this icon. So I have to be sure that web is selected. So there is web, there is Android, there is iOS. Select web. Then I have to copy this link that we have here. Link is copied. So the link that I copied, I have to take it to my HTML file and put it in the head tag, just like the way I have my CSS file linked here. So this is also a CSS file that is linking to Google Font. So I have to paste it here. The next thing I'm going to copy is the icon itself. So when you read through, you see inserting the icon. So I'm going to copy this and take it over to where I want the icon to be placed. I want it to be placed in this start. So I'm removing the start and I'm placing this inside of here. Let me break it down a little bit so that, and let me also break this down. So I have the start inside of here, and I can save, and let's come over to this. So it's not, we can't see it properly because we have to style the A tag. Meanwhile, let me remove this div. I don't think the div is necessary. So I'm going to get rid of the div. Div is not really necessary. So dot hero a dot hero a, and let me give it a background color first of all. So what background color should we use? No, there's no background color. We just have a border. We just have border around it. So border 1 pixel solid. So you can see this is taking like 100% of the width. That's not what we want. We want this to take width of, let's say, 10% for now. So this is what it looks like, and 10% seems too much as well. Let's make it 5% then. So we have 5%. Let's give it a height as well. You understand why the reason why we're giving it a height is because we want to do border radius of 100% so that it will be a perfect circle. So we've given it a height. The next thing we want to do is we want to do border radius and say 50%. Let's try with 50%. So let's try 100. Okay, the things we need to work on now. Change the color to, let's say, white. I'm going to give it display of flex. Then I'm going to say align item center. So that's not working. Let's try text align center. Okay, that's placed at the center. The next thing I want to do is this margin left, that is 5 rem. I'm going to replicate that here. Say margin left 5 rem. Save that. Then I'm going to increase and do some margin top as well. Say 1 rem for this. Let me increase it a little bit, 1.5 rem. So I want to make the roundness to pop out more. So let me increase the height from 5% to about 10%. Okay. What I can do is 10 rem. Let's see what 10 rem looks like. That's too much. You can see 4 rem. You can see 3 rem. So I'll also do the same thing for this. For width, I'm going to say 3 rem as well. Free rem. Okay, so let's place it in the center by doing and display flex. Display flex. Align items. Align item center. Justify content center. Justify center. Content center. So that means we don't need These are our text align. We don't need it here anymore. So we sort of have these. There are still stuff we need to do with this image. Meanwhile, let's make our text to be white color. So I could have done that in all of the H1, in the H1 and the P tag. Let me just do that in the Hebrew so that all text there will be white in color. Okay, so you see the text is not coming out properly, but we're going to end with this, and when we come again, we're going to make the text pop out by having a kind of overlay on the image so that this part where we have the text is kind of faded, or we have something dark covering that part so that the text can come out properly. So at this point, we are good with what we have now. Let's call it a day and wait for the next video.